Bring.
You need another fantasy football nugget? I'm going to give it to you. Proudly brought to you by Chilltown. Now, we covered quarterbacks before, and I'm going to be honest with you, they're important. But they're not as important as what we're covering today, the running backs. Now look, there's a lot of good ones. I really don't care about those. That's not who we're talking about. We're not going to talk about Christian McCaffrey that much. We're not going to talk about Alvin Kamara. We're not going to talk about these guys that we know, the Le'Veon Bells. They're going to get the big points. We already know that. They're proven commodities. What we want to talk about is the other guys, the breakout stars. The guys that have been really good, but guess what? They might be primed for a bust. That's who we're going to cover. You may disagree. I hope you disagree. If you do, I've got Facebook, I've got Twitter, I've got a phone, I've got Instagram. You can hit me up on any of them. We can talk about it. I'll enjoy that. So let me know what you think about the list. But the most important piece is use this. This is information that's going to help your team, not hurt it. Unless you do it wrong. Unless you don't trust me. Unless you do trust me. We'll see. It's up for you to decide. I know the answers. Do you? Anyway, we're going to get right into this list. You can tell me what you think. First, like I said, we're going to, just like we did before, we're going to go over our breakout candidates. We're going to go over our bust possibilities. And then at the end, I'll give you who I think will have the most points for the season. So, let's get right into it with our number one breakout. Again, no particular order. Number one, Sony Michel. I loved him in college. Thought he was fantastic. Got to the pros, a little nicked up with injury. Kind of follows him. Could be an issue. But the workload they gave him, the Patriots gave him in the playoffs, leads me to believe they are going to lean heavily on Sony Michel. 24 carries, 112 yards per game in the playoffs. 6 total touchdowns. That's RB1 production. And I believe with the way they're going to run their offense, it's going to be run heavy. They're not going to lean and try to make Tom Brady win every game. Just the fourth quarters. Sony Michel will be involved, and he will get yards and more yards. And he can put it in the end zone. I love a running back that's fast. He's got speed. He's got power. This is a guy I think can be a top 5, top 8 running back this season. Just because of the way he's going to be used. And the way he was used at the end of last season. Bank on this one. I like him a lot. Moving on. Dalvin Cook. Now, I know what you're thinking. He's been really good before. He has. This year's a deer. He's going to do it for the whole season. Just tonight, I believe it was tonight, he broke off an 85-yard touchdown run. I think that's something you're going to see more and more. He broke the hearts of Hurricane fans like myself more than once with the way he can run the ball. And he's got big-time speed, and he's just now getting back to full health. That offense is going to be much more run-heavy this year as well. I don't blame him. Keep it away from Kirk Cousins. And look for Dalvin Cook to be the beneficiary. If you need another good running back, this is one I think definitely can get 1,500 yards this season. Book it. I think he's going to have a big, big year. All right. Next, this one's a little off the radar. You may not even be totally exactly sure who this guy is. But Kerryon Johnson. Now, he actually played well last year. Under the radar, definitely. Theo Riddick was there and others, and so he didn't get the bulk of the carries. This year, I think that's going to change. He averaged 5.4 yards a carry last year in a limited role. Just spend that out over 18 to 20 carries a game. You've got a guy that can get you 90 to 100 yards every single game. That's important. He's got good athleticism. He can get big runs. He can catch ball out of the backfield. So, I would look for this guy. He may not be somebody that's going to get you top 10 points, okay? Let's be real. Everybody can't be a top 10 running back. But this is a guy you can get late. You could probably get him 7th, 8th, 9th round, 10th round as your running back too. And I think he will be very, very good for you. You can catch, and you got to also remember, this season we're going halfway to PPR league, so every reception is 0.5 points. These running backs that can catch the ball out of the backfield, they're very valuable. He's able to do that, so you've got to really take that into account. You're going to get bonus points by doing this, so just keep that in mind. I think he's going to have a really good year. I think it's somebody, you may not get top tier running back 1, but he's going to get you top 15 points most weeks, in my opinion. Could be wrong. We'll see. Next up, this is my favorite running back of the season, even more so than Sony Michel. It's Josh Jacobs with Oakland. Is it still Oakland? The Raiders. Yeah. They're in Vegas yet. So, Josh Jacobs out of Alabama. Now, a lot of Alabama running backs don't make it. They just, for some reason, they get to the NFL and they don't produce. This is not that guy. This is a guy I think can be really, really good. And he's going to be the focal point from day one. That's really important. He's going to get 20 carries. He's with John Gruden. Who knows how much he trusts Derek Carr. You got Antonio Brown, that's kind of a head case. Josh Jacobs is going to get carry after carry after carry. He can catch it out of the backfield. He's tough. He's quick. He doesn't have the big top end speed, but he's fast enough that he can still break big runs. Look for big things out of Josh Jacobs. Big year, first year runner. I could see easily 1,300 to 1,500 yards rushing year one for him. So he could have maybe a Saquon Barkley, maybe not quite that level, but like Saquon Barkley kind of first year. And I'd say that's pretty darn good as a rookie. All right. I actually made this change just tonight because something happened that kind of facilitated this. No, the last one on my list for breakout possibilities, I'll call this a lottery ticket. This is one that I would not draft this high up, just being totally honest with you. This is one you could probably get late. Somebody will reach, but you can wait, and you should be able to wait and get him later. And that's Duke Johnson Jr. Lamar Miller gets hurt, and that opens up the door for Duke Johnson. Now he becomes probably the de facto number one running back in Houston. I'll be honest, I don't know what he's going to do as a number one back, if they even use him as the lead back. But if they do, what you're getting is basically a souped up version of Darren Sproles. A guy that can get you 800, 900, 1,000 yards rushing, but he's also going to get you 70, 80 catches. He's going to get you 600, 700 yards receiving on top of that. And touchdowns in that part of the game. So you really got to take that into account. I don't know that Duke Johnson's going to get you 1,200 yards rushing, but I think he can get you 1,000 rushing and another 600 receiving. And that, for me, that's enough. That's basically 100 total yards a game. That's what you're looking for. And you got to look, he's going to get receptions. He's probably going to get 6 to 8 receptions every single game, possibly. And, give or take a few. So that's something that I think is totally worthwhile, and really would look at Duke Johnson as don't draft him in the first round. Don't be crazy. But you draft him 8th, 9th, 10th round, I think you got a lottery ticket that could come up aces. And I think I will be looking to see how far he falls. If he falls far enough, I definitely will look at taking him. So that's our breakouts. Now, like I said before, I like the busts. I think they're more fun. Breakouts, everybody wants to do well. But the ones we want to do poorly, that's just more fun. So I've got 3 of them this time. The first one, and this is kind of personal for me, is Leonard Fournette. Now, I like Leonard Fournette, I really do. Well, I did until last year. I drafted him last year, and to say that it was a disappointment would be a rather large understatement. He was not very good. Yards per carry, under 3.5. He's starting to look and feel like Trent Richardson, which I hate to say, but that's just what his numbers look like. Maybe he turns it around this year and has a good year, but I just don't know that you can trust him to do that. Now, will Jacksonville give him the ball? Probably, but they also signed Nick Foles to a big contract. They're going to throw it too. So I can't wrap my head around they're going to trust to give this guy the ball 25 times a game. I just don't see it. 15, 16 times a game, 3.5 yards a carry. Not really going to catch it out of the backfield. I don't see the value. If I knew and felt like they would give him 25 touches, then maybe that 3.5 yards a carry works, just in a sheer volume number. But for where he's going to get drafted first, second round, I just don't see it, folks. Just being real. Enjoy it if you want to. I will not even look in his direction. That doesn't matter what round it is. I will not look in his direction. So have at it. If you want him, great. I just don't trust that he's going to be that guy. If I'm proven wrong, hey, I'm proven wrong. No big deal. No loss. Moving forward, this one kind of pains me to say because I actually like this guy a lot. Todd Gurley. I'm not touting his talent level. I think his talent's as good as any running back in football. It may be the best pure pound-for-pound talent in football. My issue is he got hurt at the end of the year last year, but they said he wasn't hurt, but maybe he was hurt. His numbers were terrible. He didn't do much in the Super Bowl. He didn't play much in the playoffs at times. It was just really weird. They were giving the ball to C.J. Anderson. Why, if he's healthy? So, look, I haven't seen him in the preseason. I didn't see him much at the end of last season. He had a mysterious injury that has never really come out that I'm aware of. I worry. I could see the Rams taking his workload and really cutting it back to make sure he's fresh for the playoffs. So if you're expected to take him really early, I think he's running back 6 or 7. I think that's going to be a little early because I don't believe they're going to give him the ball 20 times a game. I just don't see it. 16, 18 times a game. That's going to limit his chances at a touchdown. I just think you got to look at what you're looking for. He may not be a bust where he's just going to have a horrible year. I'm not saying that, but I think if you're buying him that high, I don't think you're getting your bang for your buck. Now, if you get him late second round, maybe you can look at it that way, early third round. But if you're getting him in one of the top 5 picks of the draft, you're expecting big numbers. I don't know that he's giving you that just because I think they're going to try to protect him for the playoffs because they didn't have him last year. So steer clear, in my opinion. Don't just stay away from him. Just be smart with that. Nick Chubb. Going to have a good year. Not knocking him at all. The issue with Nick Chubb is Kareem Hunt's going to get activated in Week 9. I can't draft a guy that I think is not going to be the lead back all year. That, to me, is not a smart play. So it's not a knock on Nick Chubb. He could end up being great. I will not draft a guy that's going to possibly lose his job during the year. Just won't do it. Simple as that. Sorry. I mean, no hate on Nick. I think he's a great running back, and he's big, fast, and I think he's great. But if he's going to lose his job, then I'm out. All right. Final thing to close here is my top point scorer for the week, or for the year, excuse me. Christian McCaffrey. I'm going to keep this short and sweet because he's fantastic, and he's a Panther. I think he's going to rush for 1,000 yards. I think he's going to receive for 1,000 yards, 1,000 receiving yards. He's going to do the 1,000. I believe Marshall Faulk's the last to do that, but I think he's going to do it this year. He's going to have over 100 catches. He's going to have a ton of attempts. He's the focal point of that team, and I think he's going to have just a monster year. He would be number 1 on my board if I'm being totally honest. I think he's going to be the leading point getter, possibly in the entire league. But that's pretty much all I got to say about that. Battery's running a little low, so I'm going to try to close this out. Try to get this posted tomorrow. Receivers are coming up next. It's going to be a great video as well, a lot like this one. Stay with me. The draft's coming up. Get ready. Trust me, it's Chilltown. You can trust us, right? Fantasy Football Nugget of the Week. Done.